Welcome back, everyone, to episode 32 of the Illegal Formation Podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Joining to me is Dan, the Eagles fan. That one dude, Dan. He is extremely tired. He just had a long drive, but me and him are both up late. It's Christmas time, so we got to kind of have an awkward, schedule for this week, doing this stream here, and then kind of trickling out the rest as this is going to preview and serve as a top 10 live stream for this week. So you won't be seeing anything until Sunday, maybe. And yeah, it's going to be a big week, to be honest. Week 17 is almost the biggest week of the season in my head because a lot of games, week 18, people sit. And it ends up being at least the most interesting week of the season to me. And a lot of things are figured out by the end of week 17. So going into week 18, sometimes it's just kind of boring, and you just want to get to the wild card round. So this is going to be a huge week, and since it's so early in the week, I don't really have any notes, put down. We have reached intuition time in the NFL season. Not just me, but all of you are getting ready for Christmas, and it's also that time of the season where there's been so many games. It gets to the point that, kind of cherry picking matchups and stuff like that. You could say anyone's great, and you really got to just kind of think about, the eye test at this point and how you feel about the teams and, what we do know about them. And I think it's right that we go into this a little blind. I do know the games, but I really haven't been able to commit too much thought to them. So it's going to be interesting to take this kind of approach to picking the games. But this year's been a complete wash for me. So, it's not really going to make a huge difference if things don't go well for me. So we're going to test my luck. And Dan, how are you feeling about your luck in picking these games for week 17 with just how crazy things have been?
Listen, all I know is that my luck must be like I must have a 4-leaf clover on my ass or something because I just found out today. I thought I was completely out of the playoffs in all of my leagues. And so Big Pops decided to text me and said, "Yo, bro, you're in the Super Bowl actually." And what's it called? The Yahoo League. I was like, "You're capping." And I looked, and my team dominated when I wasn't even like the head coach was gone and the team dominated. So
They showed up.
I'm feeling fantastic right now, and I feel like yo, we're about to go 10 for 10.
So
However
you
many
didn't
games.
know you were in the playoffs and your team was just
I
winning?
did it. I stopped working on that team
That's
since week
crazy.
13, since week 12 or
Welcome
13,
back, everyone,
and I
to
had
episode
two guys
32 of
that
the
were
Illegal.
hurt and one empty slot, and the team
That
dominated. So
is, dude, I am jealous because I was in the playoffs in 3 leagues. One was a dynasty, two were redraft, and I won in the dynasty league one round, but then I lost in the second round. And for the redraft leagues, I was the number one seed pretty much in both of them. It was like a almost four-way tie in the one league, and I ended up playing the one seed, and I lost because Lamar got hurt, and I lost by like 8 points, and he only scored six, so that really sucked. And in the other league, I I lost more significantly. That was a 2 week playoff, but yeah, I did terrible in fantasy this year. I haven't been doing good with picks. I was much better last year. This weird year has caught me off guard. So we're gonna try to redeem that with our kind of end of season takes and playoff takes. And starting that off is gonna be the top 10 lists for week 17. Like I said, the week 18 top 10. It's a fun video for me. I remember mine last year. It did really well, but to be honest, like I said, things are already decided. It doesn't really matter once you get to the playoffs. It's a whole new season. So this is really kind of putting your money where your mouth is. So I guess I will start off and show you guys my list for the Week 17 top 10, and just quickly go down through it as we got a lot to cover today. So at number 10, I have the Eagles. They're new for me, but with people coming back healthy and how crazy this year is, they're way too talented of a team to be counted out. Number 9, I have the 49ers. They just look really, really good on offense, and Robert Saleh coaching the defense is honestly not terrible, even though they have a terrible, terrible list of injuries on that side of the ball. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, it's just been so bad, but and even Michael Williams, the first round pick. But yeah, I'm impressed with their offense. Number 8, Patriots. This is more about a lot of other teams moving up ahead of them, and the fact that I've already had them so low. But Jackson Dart has the same amount of wins against winning teams in his starts on the Giants as his Patriots team does. And it just goes to reinforce how I felt about them. Is just they just haven't proven enough to be put near the top of the list, in my opinion. Number 7, though, the Bears. I feel kind of similarly, same thing with the schedule, but I think they've versed a tougher schedule, and the way they've come from behind in so many games is something I feel like we haven't seen as much from the Patriots. Number 6, the Broncos, another team that has had kind of a easy-ish kind of schedule and kind of skirted by in a lot of games, and we're telling ourselves that it's clutch, and maybe it is a little bit of that, but it also looked very bad this week, so they got to move down as they lost the 1 seed, or they still have it, but it looks like they could lose it. Number 5, the Bills, best quarterback left in the playoffs, and the offense looks electric, so I think they're dangerous, and this is kind of the right spot for them. No, I'm not going to pick them to win the Super Bowl right now, but they do look like they could beat just about anyone. Number 4, the Jags. I feel like this Jags team is nearly the best in the AFC, and based off that win versus the Broncos, it just shows the strides they've taken. Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, and it just looks like they have a much better thing going on than Bo Nix and Sean Payton, much more explosive. And then number 3, I got the Texans ahead of them in the AFC South. In my view, they are currently a game behind, and the defense is just insane. And I think, if anything, if C.J. Stroud can continue to play well, even though they looked bad versus the Raiders, I'm moving them up a spot simply because I moved the Broncos and the Patriots down, even though I had them ahead of the Patriots. And then number 2, I still have the Seahawks. I obviously thought their comeback win was great, but I think the Rams were the better team still. I think it was more about the Rams' mistakes in losing that game than it was about the Seahawks, coming back and winning, even though they did do a great job of it. And then number 1, I got the Rams still. It is a loss. They don't have the 1 seed. It's going to hurt, but I still think they're going to be the best team in the NFL going through the playoffs, and it's going to help them win games. Dan, you ready for your top 10?
Let's get it rocking.
All right, let me get it on the screen real quick, and then I will tell you when. Almost. There we go. You ready?
Ready to go?
All right, it's on the screen.
So for my honorable mention, which I again could be replacing it with my number 10, I have the Panthers right now. I think they are, after beating the Bucks, shows that they're actually capable of hitting those really high, powerful teams that we look so highly on going into the season, i.e. like the Rams and the Packers, and um it's just crazy how they just keep catching these teams off guard. Like,
Yeah,
coincidence? I think not. Um Number 10, I got the Bills. Powerful team, 100%. But again, Josh Allen for some reason plays up and down depending on his competition. I'm not gonna really neglect that. We've seen that in the past. I'm not gonna really jump on that bandwagon yet. Lord. Chargers at 9. They're fighting. They're doing what they got to do. It's hard to move them up because, again, injuries. It's going to be really rough. I got 8. I got the Niners. They're really impressing me. I think um, still allowing 17 points, even though, listen, Philip Rivers, the way he was scheming up the offense to just get receivers opened,
yeah.
I'm not lying to you, like, not a lot of quarterbacks
Are
be
doing that.
reading defenses like that. I'm not even gonna bullshit. Like, for real, it's like crazy to me
Yeah,
how you can see our childhood football compared to now football, and how, like, oh my god, like, put that shit in my veins type shit. That's what exactly how
yeah,
I felt.
yeah. I love it.
Um, for real. You got 7. I got the Eagles. Um, we did really good ending the game, being able to close the door. I've been asking that for a minute for us to be able to, close the door on teams and be able to get ahead. What I didn't like is that we had a hard time getting the ball rolling. But again, Lane Johnson was hurt, Jalen Carter was hurt, Dean got out of the game. Like, for, I feel like, key, very, very key points in the game, it shows that, hey, like, we needed the backups to really show up, and hey, they did, like, later on in the game. But um against other big, more talented teams that you're going to see in the playoffs, you got to get the ball rolling in the beginning. Six. I got the Jags. I love the Jags and how they are right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I do really like it. I do think it's fantastic. What I also do think is that, um, I feel like the Jags, while everybody's high on them right now, I'll be the first to say I think they have their mojo, and they're gonna get caught lacking at some point. I think the mojo is gonna still stick with the Colts. Honestly, I think they're still gonna have that momentum, but when it comes to the playoffs, it's um it's a different ball game, and I think that a mistake's gonna happen, something's gonna occur, and T Law may be thrown up. ETN may be not be getting the rushes that he's looking for, so that's why I don't have him so high. The Broncos, I think the Broncos got the loss that they needed before going into the playoffs to kind of show that they're not invincible. So it allows them to develop. So I think that was a very good cultural loss. Is the best way I could
Yeah.
explain that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. The Bears. The Bears, bro. Listen, love them. Cannot hate the Bears at all. If you hate the Bears, you're just an overall hater. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like they do what they need to do every single time. Caleb Williams is poised. Everything was going good, and he threw an absolute bucket to DJ Moore for that freaking game winner. And it was like off of his freaking back foot. I felt like it looked like for a second, but I don't think it was. I think it was actual like he had good pocket presence and he had like he got both feet down, was able to make the correct throw. But
Yeah.
this dude was poised the entire game, completely calm. Of course, Love got hurt. I get it. Parsons wasn't there. I get it. You go from one sack to zero sacks because one guy's not there. I don't think it's an end all be all in that situation. And the Bears were close when they both had both guys there too. Anyway, so I'm not I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go and write off the Bears in that case. Then at three, I got the Patriots. Um, Drake May. You know what I'm saying? That dude puts what like does what he needs to do. He performs the way he needs to perform. He came back against the Ravens. I know Joey's over here like it's the Ravens, but um, what have we been looking for, Scotty? A situation where they're down and they need to come back. A situation where it's like a kind of a playoff situation. How do they play? Lamar was up for a while, but the Ravens also made crucial mistakes from Andrews trying to pull a Travis Kelsey and completely botched it, fumbled the ball, and Zay Flowers. Scott, did we not say this beforehand? Right in the playoffs, when Zay Flowers tries to extend to get more yards, as if this dude
He never holds
has
on
the
to the
grip,
ball.
has the grip of like vice grips, like you know what I'm saying. Like this dude, legitimately has gotten the ball popped out of his hands every time this bull tries to extend the ball. Like, are we dumb? Like, and he
In the
keeps
worst moment too.
in the worst
And
possible
Lamar got
situation.
hurt too. Don't forget about
Yes,
that.
and Lamar got hurt.
So
So,
I don't really care. I don't care. But go ahead, continue.
so for me, like Patriots coming back, like great thing to see. Honestly, I know Travion Henderson is playing a little banged up, but who isn't banged up at this point in the freaking season? Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. Number two, I got the Rams. I think the Rams. Um, the Scott's point, they make mistakes. Oh, I get it. Every team makes mistakes. I just feel like the Rams are the one team that make the mistakes always at the wrong time. And it's like mistakes that they just cannot come back from. So it's like while other teams like make mistakes, like for example, like the what's it called, the Saints getting five turnovers, but it was still able to come back and be the Giants. I understand it's not on the same scale, but they're still putting themselves in predicaments to be able to like get back. But the Rams, it's like the game winning field goal, the game winning drive, the game winning anything,
Yeah.
or
And it all
the
didn't
game
work.
winning the game winning defensive stop. They just always seem to choke on that ish. I have no idea why, but it's like it's
The
been like that.
corners
I'm
aren't
not a
great.
hater. You know what I'm saying? And I don't hate on the Rams. I love the Rams. I think the Rams are a cool ass team. I love the roster. I love Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, like all goats, all 100%. But like it's like when the time comes and you're asking me like, are the Rams gonna show up? It's really hard to say yes sometimes. And again, this Seahawks game was a point of that. Being my number one team, the Seahawks, they were finally able to get over that hump. I think this is what they needed to get the confidence going into the playoffs that they could beat their division opponent. I feel as if that the Seahawks now have um, a huge amount of mojo going into the rest of the season. I think Sam Darnold finally got the confidence that he was looking for to be able to like just keep up with these guys and be able to actually make this team into a really deep like playoff Super Bowl ready team. And this defense is phenomenal, even though they again let up 30 points, but it's Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense. So can't be that mad about it. So yeah, that's my top 10.
Yeah, and it's an interesting time of the year for sure for ranking teams because you do think about the playoffs in terms of these rankings, and whether that's what it's really about or not. And people always want to have that discussion. And I personally feel like for my top 10, I try to make it like who I also think is going to go on to win the Super Bowl. And that's what makes doing it this year so tough because there is no juggernaut. And even this Rams team that I've had number one for weeks and weeks and weeks, I couldn't agree more with the fact that like they have ugly chokes and it's their fault when they lose. Like, and they had the opportunities and all that. What I always come back around to is I'm like, well, it does become hard to say, will the Rams show up? But it's definitely a lot harder to say for me, the Texans or the Jaguars or this Bills team. Um, Seahawks, same thing. And then you just go down the list. It's just everyone this year. It's hard to say who's going to show up. I do think that
Mhm.
gives the Rams and the Eagles quite the edge in this year's playoffs. I think they're
Mhm.
two of the probably most talented teams in the NFC. And I feel like people are forgetting that. That's why I made sure to include the Eagles here. Because I know they're going to have, this game is probably going to determine whether that, stays. But, if my confidence stays. But yeah, it's just it's just such a strange time of the year, um, and looking into the playoff brackets and whatnot. Every matchup feels the same. Every matchup really feels the same, and then when you're like, oh, they're gonna go to the divisional round, it feels the same. And that's what some of these games are like in week 17 is they feel like this is what any of the playoff games could look like this year. And starting off for that is Texans Chargers. And in this game, it is two AFC teams. The Texans are not in first place, so they have a wild card spot. Technically, they're in the hunt at 10-5. Um, it's really just the Colts who could kick them out. The Ravens aren't going to do that, and they're pretty much ready to go for the playoffs. I would say, and the same goes for the Chargers, who are 11-4. And excuse me one second as I pull up the schedule to find the spread for this game and
Mhm.
the over under. Because like I said, this is blind. So in this game, as it currently sits, the Chargers are favored to win by 2.5. And there's an over under of 39.5. And I think that's so interesting because we saw this just last year, did we not? In the wild card round. And it was a very similar situation where, oh, if Justin Herbert had a healthy offensive line, he wouldn't have thrown 4 interceptions. Well, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater are out again and not going to be able to block Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. And the Chargers have they're 11-4, but they have hideous losses to like the
Very.
Giants, you know,
Mhm.
teams like that. They got destroyed by the Jaguars, Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, although I'm not sure he was healthy for that game. And I I, I get
But
the
they also send Devin Lloyd for the blitzing, and it's just like yeah, they just destroyed him.
Yeah, and when I look at the Chargers' schedule this season, they're coming off 4 straight wins off their bye week. They beat the Raiders, okay, but then you beat the Eagles in that crazy game. You beat the Chiefs, and Mahomes tears his ACL, and then you just wreck the Cowboys, and it looks like they're trending upward. But to be honest, the Eagles are barely a top 10 team for me. The Chiefs and the Cowboys are not top 10 teams for me. And they're going to finish off the season, this Chargers team, with Houston and Denver, two teams they would probably have to play to make it through the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they're like the two worst matchups. I feel like they could go 0-2 and finish the season 11-6 very easily. I think it's a bad matchup for them. I would probably take the Texans to win 22-19, the same score, or almost the same score of that Eagles game. Yeah, 22-19, but in reverse and no overtime. And it's a garbage time touchdown by the Chargers because the Texans do allow those, and they're just going to be playing from behind. So I'm going to take the Texans. Give me the spread at least for them in this one. Dan, what do you think about this game, and what does it mean for the Chargers if they lose this game? Does it kill like all their momentum?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's gonna really show them that like yo, we're mangled, and a top tier defense is gonna absolutely like to eat us, and that's why like I'm gonna say like my score. While I think it's either gonna be CJ Stroud finally proves himself and he's gonna go for it, and I'm gonna believe in him that he's gonna do that. Because there's another part of me off like instincts that I think this is gonna be a really big defensive kind of game. I think the Chargers have a very hard hitting defense, like just like the
Oh
Texans.
yeah, it's
While
not going to be easy for Stroud, and it wasn't in that wild card game either. He actually brought them back in that one.
exactly. So that's why to me, I think this game is gonna be um I guess a Stroud, you could say like awakening game where he wants to make a statement here. And that being the case, I'm going with the score being 24-14
Texans.
Texans.
Yeah, and this is a kind of prove it game. This is a statement win for whoever comes out with this one, because this Chargers team, I honestly, Joey kind of hit the nail on the head last week, where I feel like the way we felt about the Eagles a couple weeks ago is the way I feel about the Chargers right now. It's just like
Mhm.
it's just gonna collapse. In fact, it'd probably be best if they did lose these games, so they can learn from them going into the playoffs. And seeding is important and all that, but in this year, I'm not even sure it really matters that much, to be
Yeah, I
honest.
fully agree with that. I don't
Yeah,
think seeding really matters for Ish this year.
yeah, and I don't think anyone knows who the number one team is. But I feel like I know it's not the Chargers, and I feel like it could be the Texans. So I'm gonna take the Texans, like I said, and yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see if the Chargers do actually win this game. To be like, they couldn't get over that hump last year, and that was kind of what I thought would hold them back. So what is holding them back? So
Mhm.
very very interesting game. Moving on though to our second biggest game of the week, I would say, and that is Bears 49ers. Now, in our lists, me and Dan both have the Bears and 49ers. Dan has been the Bears man all year. He's got him number 4. I he has the Niners at 8. I have the Bears at 7, but I do have the 49ers at 9. So we feel pretty much the same about the 49ers, but Dan is definitely higher on the Bears. So I'll go first. The Bears in this one is this is a really scary game for them. This could really deflate their season, I think, if this goes wrong for them. Because just like we said about the Broncos, and I've been harping on the Patriots, the Bears do have one of the easiest schedules on the season. I believe they are third when it comes to strength of schedule that they have played so far. And they've beaten some good teams, like they beat this Packers team, but they did lose Love and Micah in that game, and who knows if they come back in the crazy way they did if that didn't happen. They almost beat the Packers earlier, and I thought they looked really good, and they beat the Eagles and the Steelers, and they look good during those, and I feel like they've been improving, and I really believe in Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. I really believe what they got going on there, especially with the offensive line. They got everything they need. That's kind of why I believe in the Bears a little more than I have earlier on in the season, and more than the 49ers in this case. Because with this 49ers team, I feel like whenever they have these explosive games, it's scheme dependent. It's like, are you out coached, right? And I feel like Ben Johnson is a really great coach, and their defense has been mostly trying to force turnovers. And that kind of works in any environment, It either does or it
Mhm.
doesn't. And so I really struggle with this one. It is going to be a primetime game. It's going to
Mhm.
be Sunday night, which is pretty
Yep.
awesome. And so the pressure's on. For some reason, I feel like Brock Purdy's usually wins in primetime. And Caleb
I
Williams,
believe Romo Doomsday is coming back though.
And if Rome is back, that's huge. Although they have struggled to use him, perhaps that was due to injury. But um, I don't know. Although it just seems like the 49ers have just been tearing it up, they really haven't played anyone outside of the Panthers since they lost to the Rams week 10 before Purdy came back. So they're on this little winning streak. But and the offense looks great. It's not going to be easy to beat this team. But I just do feel like the Bears have more going for them on all cylinders, and they have Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson to just get that extra player or two that you're going to need to win this game. So I'll take the Bears in a shootout. I'll go 34-31 Bears. And that is compared to the line. Yeah, it's a 52.5 over under. And San Fran's favored only by 3. Damn, what do you think for your team right now, the Bears? I know you're an Eagles fan, but, you've called it.
The Bears are like my backup, 100%. For me, I think the Bears are gonna find mojo. I think the Niners are gonna find something because it's at San Francisco, if I'm correct, right?
It is at San Francisco.
That's what I thought. Okay, so with that being the case, like Purdy, when he's in San Fran, he plays way different than being away. I can't even bullshit you. Like, I feel like being in San Fran, that good weather, he's used to it. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be calm. But the Bears, bro, Ben Johnson he's the factor, yo. And like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, if he's not coach of the year, I don't know
Right, yeah. I mean,
who
it's got to
who
be him,
else.
right?
Like it could be, it has to be him. So like, um, that being the case, I just think Ben Johnson is going to first of all, one, I think he's gonna include Rome. I think he's gonna have a nice welcome game. I think the running game that oh my gosh, the running game for Swift Manungai is gonna be great this
Chungus.
game. Yep, 100%. I think Loveland is going to be used more than Komet, like by a mile. That speedy tight end, like kind of game, really,
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to get the
They
Niners
got
in
no
this
Fred
game.
Warner.
Yeah, no, Fred Warner, exactly. So, and they got rid of Greenlaw.
Yeah.
So, I'm expecting this game to go 28-24 to the Bears.
Yeah. And I think a big part of this is the fact that this defense for the 49ers is held together by good coaching, which means guys are in position. But that's why I think a coach like Ben Johnson could be the one to kind of crack that code, find the weaknesses and expose those. And when they aren't in position to make a good play, these are backups. They make mistakes and you get explosive plays, and this Bears team has kind of relied on that. So I do feel like the Bears are kind of like a matchup advantage against this 49ers team. But the 49ers might actually be like more stable or like, better, more matchup proof. But this Bears team is, I feel like they're built to attack this San Francisco defense. So, and more just circumstantially. But
Mhm.
yeah, this is going to be a big game too, as both of these teams are in the NFC playoffs. The Bears are the 2 seed. They're leading the NFC North. But if they beat the 49ers, then they're going to kind of shoo them away from that NFC West potential title that they could win. Because right now, the 49ers are the 5 seed and the Rams are the 6 seed. Because the 49ers, they did beat them that one time. And the Rams did come back around and beat them. But the Rams have now lost to the Seahawks, and the 49ers have not lost to them yet. They play again week 18. So things are actually really interesting in the NFC West, and depending on how this Bears team plays against this 49ers team, it's going to have major impacts on both sides. I mean, let's not forget, if the Bears lose and the Packers win, they're only a half game behind again, you know. So crazier things have happened. So yeah, it's going to be a very impactful game. But let's move on. Let's move on to a big one. This is the biggest game of the week, in my opinion. I've been so curious about both of these teams for weeks. I really have. And that's Bills and Eagles. Why don't you take the reins on this one, Dan, since the Eagles are your team? I will tell you the over under and the spread for this game. So right now the Bills are 1.5 favorites, and there's a 43.5 point over under. And it's at Buffalo. So at Buffalo, they're 1.5 favorites. And you mentioned Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson. So I think that's what we know from injuries, is that they're going to be back.
I believe, yes, that they're supposed to be back for this game, this week specifically. Unless now that we clinched the division, is Sirianni thinking we keep them, we rest them until playoff time, when it matters the most, and we're gonna need them to be extremely healthy. I haven't looked at the reports yet. That's probably not gonna come out until probably Thursday or Friday, depending if they're gonna play or not.
I think you have to
Um,
win one more game, and I think you guys want to win this one, so you'd rather
that's
bench
what
your
I
whole
agree.
team.
I
Yeah.
fully agree that you would want to win this one, unless like this is where I feel like the coaches like sometimes have this mentality of like we may see them later. Like the Chiefs mentality, we may see them later. So we're not gonna
Mhm.
show them all of our freaking tricks
Yeah.
just in case we play them later.
They are in the AFC though. I would think that would apply more to say like the
But you're with the
49ers
NFC
and the
100%.
Rams, you know, like
Yeah, but
division
the Chiefs only play the Bills once a year, usually in the regular season, and then they always know they're gonna meet them in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I think that's, it's more predictable. Whereas on the NFC, like with the Eagles, it's like the only like are you gonna take it easy? Say if you played like three playoff teams from the AFC, like would you take it easy against all of them because you might play them in the Super Bowl? I understand what you're saying, by the way. I'm just saying I don't think they're going to be pulling any punches versus Bills team. I think this is if we're going to see like the Eagles like come out hot.
The full
I
full
think it's this
throttle,
one.
100%. And especially with this Bills run game, you could really run all over the Bills. I've seen it from Tucker. I've seen it from different running backs throughout the season. Um, and I'm expecting Saquon to have a very big game. I'm very curious to see because I believe Slay is not a starter on that team yet. Um, but Tre'Davious White, Poyer, all those guys trying to go up against our offensive weapons. I'm really curious to see what Petula has diced up. Really, what I'm really curious about is to see what Fangio is going to look like against containing people like James Cook and Josh Allen. While it seems like we seem to be a very passive defense, we want to have our front four guys try to get the quarterback, get the running back, keep contained. But it's different when you're playing Jordan Love. Is different when you're playing Caleb Williams and then you play Josh Allen, someone
Right.
who could break the tackles, who could get out, scramble, make big throws, or James Cook, where dude just spreads the field and is able to make those plays and
Yeah.
stuff. So,
He
um,
gives Josh Allen the horizontal axis
exactly
of a
that
threat.
that's where I'm really curious to see how Fangio adjusts the defense because we haven't needed to verse a quarterback like Josh Allen. Um, really in his tenure so far being on the Eagles. So that's a really key point is how the defense adjusts and overall just how does the offense flow because it's not me worrying about um oh is um the defense going to like cost us the game. It's more of can the offense keep up if Josh Allen picks up a hot streak.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think you're completely right, and that the Eagles need to come out hot because of that. Because I don't think you want to see like this Eagles defense is great, but it doesn't matter. Not against, not against this Bills offense. It's like if you give them enough tries, they're gonna figure something out. You know, it's like yeah, they aren't the best offense in the league, but you definitely want to limit the time of possession the most against these types of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like against this Eagles offense, it's more run centric, which is built to attack this Bills defense. The problem is that I worry about is this Bills defense is good against the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you were talking about the secondary. Christian Benford, Teron Johnson, Cole
Tre'Davious
Bishop, and
White's on
Poyer.
there.
Yeah, I think I don't know if White is still there. Maxwell Harrison, the rookie, he's another corner. And then Damar Hamlin is like a guy that they kind of rotate in there, but and then they're a smart defense. Like I don't think this Eagles passing game, even if the Bills run defense is terrible, Saquon can break two long rushing touchdowns, but if you guys can't convert a third down, right, for like the whole first half, that's gonna be a huge issue. For you guys in this game, and I could see that happening if the passing game isn't working because I do feel like they could match up, against like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I think this Eagles team is like way different, even though it was 2023 last time they played the Bills. I feel like this is a way different Bills team. They had Diggs, they had Gabe Davis. The offense worked completely differently. You guys didn't have Fangio. The defense was injured. Yeah, it was just a different environment. Although honestly, pretty comparable, and you guys were able to score points.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't have Saquon, but the offensive line's worse.
Yeah.
So that's
And
kind
the
of
offensive line was worse.
yeah. So that Um, I think it is worse now.
Mm.
You still had Kelsey. That was
Yeah,
his
but who's that
last
one?
year.
Yeah.
I don't know who you had before Becton at guard, but um, ultimately, I think like you know,
Sam Malu.
yeah, it was him, wasn't it? But I don't know. It's really tough to say who's going to win this game, just because both these teams we feel like they have so much potential, but they've shown so many warts, and I I'm just going to lean on my ranking for this one. I definitely think there is a world where the Eagles can win, but I do think it definitely helps that the Eagles are or the Bills are home because they might get that bad weather that can give their defense that extra edge versus Jalen Hurts in the passing game, and it can kind of look like that that Ravens game in the playoffs, that first one where there was like it was like 10-13 and there was like a pick six and like Josh Allen's just running the you guys are both just running the ball, destroying the clock, and then it's just
Mhm.
one interception. And I'm really not trying to dog Jalen Hurts. He's still a top 10 ranked guy for me going into the season. But this is just his greatest weakness is I feel like is in situations like this or when he's banged up. He kind of looks like the way Baker Mayfield does right now. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just think that's going to be the little extra. So I'll go with that theme, and I'll say the Bills win this one, 20-17.
Okay. I mean, I've already explained what I feel like with the Birds, what they're looking to do, and how the team's gonna adjust. I really do feel as if that the Birds can still come out with this one. I think this is going to be more of what we saw earlier in the season, whereas like those really grimy games where we're both really fighting and have a hard time getting stuff started. And for some reason, like the Eagles find a way to come out with it and be able to get it started and get the game situated. But I think there's going to be a really high scoring game and give me 31-34 Eagles.
Yeah, and it's tough to say either way because I just lay out this beautiful story about how it's, just like the Ravens playoff game the first time around. And I can also see a world where it is a shootout because that is what we saw last time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I just think the Eagles' defense is much better. Should slow the game down. They should be able to run the ball 30 times if they choose to do so. I think they should give Saquon Barkley the ball like 40 times, and just that's it. Um, Obviously 40 is a lot, but you know what I'm saying. Um, yeah, I yeah, I'm just really torn. I just can't wait to watch this one. Honestly, I feel like it's gonna be a really good game, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be a 4:25 game, so maybe interesting time in there. But yeah, I say real quick before we get to our last major question, I want to just hammer off some scores here for some more interesting games. Seahawks Panthers. Seahawks, I would say probably win that one, even though the Panthers they just won, which means they should lose this week. Um, so I'll take the Seahawks to kind of dominate 28-17.
I can't lie to you. I see the Panthers shocking this team for some stupid reason,
Could
and I
definitely
see
happen.
them. And I see them shocking them like 21-17.
Honestly, I'd love to see it, and yeah, I think that's kind of how it'd be if they did. Next, Jaguars Colts. Philip Rivers, can he upset the Jaguars who are on their high horse? I am going to say no. I don't think
I'm
so.
gonna see T Law another 4 touchdown game,
Yeah,
baby.
probably gonna do look very similar to the Monday night game, and I'll take the Jags to win this one, 33 to let's call it 23. What do you think?
4 touchdown game, so you need to at least hit 28. But I also see ETN probably getting like a
100,
touchdown.
and a
So
touchdown.
yeah, so I'm going. Let's go 38-21.
All right, and then Packers Ravens. I'm gonna say the Ravens season is
Is
closer to
Love back?
over, huh?
Love's back this week.
I'm gonna just have to assume they both play. It's way too early for us to tell. Most
True.
they would have their first like report in today, but that stuff has changed, and the Ravens have said Lamar will play and then pulled him. So I don't trust them. But anyway, um, I don't know. I just feel like the Packers are a better team, both underperforming this year, but that's the Ravens have underperformed more. Lamar
Mhm.
has a back injury. I think that's worse than a concussion. So I'll take the Packers to win this sloppy running game. Let's say 21 to actually no, 24-20
I
Packers.
was gonna say it's gonna be a really horrific game. Saying that they both play, but I think they're both gonna have a little bit of hardships, a little bit of hard times, and I think Derrick Henry is gonna be used tremendously this game now that Micah's not gonna be there. Um, so give me 10-17
Okay,
Packers.
very low scoring. And then we're gonna fly through every single game except for the one that leads us to our last question. And you don't even gotta do that. I'm just doing this for the record because I gotta do this for the viewers. I gotta
Mhm.
let them know I never miss a game. I always have a take on every game of the season. So Cowboys, Commanders. Give me the Cowboys to win this one. 30-23. Lions, Vikings. Lions are going to mop the floor with 9. It's going to be 35-24 garbage time points. Broncos, Chiefs. The Broncos are going to kill them. They are on their third string quarterback, and they beat them last time. So I'll give me them 28-13. Next, Cardinals, Bengals. Should be a really high scoring game. Put some bets in on this one. Gamble responsibly. I'm gonna take the Bengals to win this one. They got a healthy quarterback and a better team, even though it's bad. Give me them 35-31.
Do
Steelers
you think Michael Wilson or Harrison is gonna be more important in that game?
probably Michael Wilson just because he's been the one producing, and Marv just can't seem to get on the same page as his quarterback. So yeah, Michael Wilson season got him in dynasty. Steelers Browns. Steelers got to win this one, right? Give me them 20-16. Saints Titans. Give me the Saints. They're a better team. Give me them in the win 27-20. Even though I do like Cam Ward. They're only 2.5
I
point
think
favorites.
Shuck Low-key is the best rookie quarterback this year, Low-key.
I mean,
Shuck has been showing.
Shuck is really good. I haven't watched enough of him to kind of compare him to Dart, but he's been impressive. And I was never a hater of Shuck. I was never a hater of Shuck, and that's thanks to that franchise guy for being a great college prospect analyzer, and he had him as his QB2 ahead of Jackson Dart. So we'll see. He's definitely a lot more fragile than as much as people talk about Jackson Dart having not much time in the league. Tyler Shuck is like Michael Penix. That's why he's like 25 years old and entering the league now because he's had a ton of injuries. So we'll just have to see, if he can
How long
last
that
longer than
last?
Dart. Uh, Bucks, Dolphins. We got a little Florida showdown. Should be kind of fun. And the Bucks are 1-6 in their last 7. The Dolphins have actually been much better across that stretch. And who says the Bucks have to win the NFC South? I mean, they could lose out. Baker's been injured this season. A lot of guys have been hurt. It's kind of a wash for them. I think that it's at Miami for whatever that means. I mean, the Bucks are 5.5 point favorites. I feel like this is a big upset spot. I'm gonna take the Dolphins.
I would need Bucky to have the game that game.
Yeah, they got Achan too, and this Bucks defense hasn't been great. So the Dolphins, so I think they could do some damage. They win 30-27. Then we got Patriots, Jets. Oh wow, what a tough schedule. Yeah, sorry, I'm being a little salty. Patriots are gonna win. They're gonna dominate. Give me 30-21. And we have one game left besides the one I want to talk about, and that's Rams Falcons. Rams are gonna be so angry. They're gonna destroy this Falcons team. 38-17. Kirk Cousins against this pass rush is not gonna go over well. But hey, maybe we'll see. He's a great processor. He should be able to figure out the
Bijan.
crucial defense. And Bijan is he is a man who does exist, and he's on the Falcons, and he's really good. So yeah, maybe I'm being a bit of a hater, and they'll score more than that. Give me actually 34-25. That's what I'll give them. All right, and then finally, the last game that we will talk about today is Giants at Raiders at 4:05, and we have the two worst teams in the league by record facing off at 12-13. The Giants have a easier strength of schedule, so they hold the first overall pick. And this is the toilet bowl, people. Now, I would have probably said going into this game a couple weeks ago, I expected the Giants to win this one. I actually said all year this was like a game I felt we could win, even going into this year. And I'm not going to lie, the Raiders looked really good against the Texans last week. I'm a Giants fan, for any of you that don't know. And I've been here before. I've played these games. I have. The past 3 years, been playing this game of dangling the first overall pick in front of our faces and then yoinking it away. And now once we finally have a quarterback, here you go. Wouldn't that just make sense? Giants never have the first overall pick. Almost never happens. I don't even know if it's happened. But enough about the lore. With this game, as much as Jackson Dart, I believe, is better than Geno Smith, Geno Smith does have a couple years in the league. He's got more weapons. Their offensive line is in a very similar spot to ours, except it is probably worse, and their defense is a lot worse. So it's not like there's no path to victory for the Giants here, and there's still some guys on this team who want to win, even if it's not all of them. We'll see if the Giants put out an effort to win. If they don't, it's going to be really sad, but they'll be pretty much locked in for that first overall pick. Everyone else has got 3 wins. So even if they win one more game, the only team with an easier strength of schedule is the Browns. And yeah, just the Browns. So I think the Giants are going to lose this game. I mean, it almost seems like it's destined to happen. It's scripted. The Giants want to lose. It really feels like dead this year, even though we have Dart. And I think for the Raiders, it would be really bad for them to win this game. I really think they should try to aim for Mendoza and try to lose this game if it's something they're willing to do. But yeah, we had a discussion earlier this week about, would you trade Dart or the first overall pick? And as for this game, none of that stuff really matters, but I just want to point that out to you guys watching if you want to hear about that. And yeah, it's going to truly be a toilet bowl. The teams are just terrible. And we had this last year with Panthers Giants. So, familiar territory. Dan, before I even ask you who's going to win, just do you think after, 4 years of accumulating all the draft picks, if the Giants land the first overall pick, do you think they can finally turn the corner, whether it be by using it, trading it, however? Do you think that's enough with a new GM, let's say, and obviously a new coach?
Yeah, I think to me it's either going to be you guys get the first overall pick and trade it for a tremendous amount of value, especially with a quarterback like Mendoza that I feel like is going to be basically like the key selling point to whoever is looking for it. And it'd be kind of funny if the Raiders trade you guys for that pick
Yeah.
and basically just sell everything that they could, even though you guys are just going to switch spots really.
Mm-hmm. Winning a Week 17 game versus a 2-13
exactly.
team versus 3 first overall or first round picks.
Exactly. So it's with that being the case, I think this could be able to set you guys up for a long time. But if you guys end up selling it, it's gonna go either you guys are gonna be set up to be contenders within the next 2 years, or it's gonna really hurt you guys to the point where you guys are gonna be suffering for the next decade.
Okay, I don't know about decade. We do have Jackson Dart. It's not like
I
we
don't know
don't
about
have a
decade,
quarterback.
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. The decade was exaggerated, but the next 5,
It's gonna suck.
the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
The next 5 or 6 years are gonna be rough because
Or
you're
we're
not
gonna
gonna have
blow our
the
chance with Dart. I would say is what.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
also too, you're gonna figure out who you have to pay because you have Scatterboo right now. Are you gonna want to get rid of him, or you're gonna have to pay Dart in the next 4 to 5 years? Neighbors is definitely gonna need big money, or you're gonna lose your number 1 receiver, and he's a top receiver in the league. I know he's not being used like that right now, but if we're gonna put him on any other team with a solid quarterback and solid line, I think low key he could compete with the top 5 guys, in my opinion.
I agree.
Genuine.
I do.
And you're gonna have to pay him, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. and then you're either gonna have to pay either Thibodeau or Abdul Carter if you guys think that like he's still gonna be worth it at that time. And then
We
it's
do have a
like,
lot. We do have a lot of terrible contracts that hold us back from signing more like quality starters on top of
I
what
still saw
we have good
Scatterboo
this
only.
year.
Yeah.
You saw Scat? What are you
I
saying?
saw Scat, but he was explaining beforehand on his podcast. He's like, "Oh yeah, I only made 250,000." It's kind of crazy the taxes in New York with his contract that he only is making 250,000 right now.
Yeah, kind of sucks, but he's definitely getting brand deals and stuff, so I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Yeah,
He just, I mean, everything the guy says, if he means it from the bottom of his heart, which I mean, it feels like he does. Things might change after a couple years in the league, and all the reality hits him, and he grows into more of an adult. But some people aren't affected by that kind of stuff, and he seems like he might be that kind of guy who's just happy with the life he's got. But overall, like I agree, like the Giants have to, whatever the Giants do has to work next year. I don't. We are done. Like it's kind of crazy to say what I'm gonna say, but this team has talent. It like genuinely confuses me how this team is so bad. You want to chalk it up to coaching, and you fire the coaches. Now the players, it seems as if they've given up. Obviously, some of them are not great, right? But it seems as if a lot of them have given up, and it's just every like year, it's like one of two things, like oh, like a little hope at the beginning, something goes wrong, 8 game losing streak, injuries, season over, 8 game losing streak, fire coach, team doesn't care anymore, But the team, at least on the defensive side, there is way too much talent to be like the worst run defense in the league. I don't even know how it's possible. It doesn't even make sense how, because with the talent, you would assume, okay, the mistakes must be, you're out of position, guys are slow, they're losing stamina. But no, it's just like every possible way that the defense overall could fail. It has failed at one point this season, and it's got to be, some level of coaching, a lack of depth, and all that stuff. The corners not being great, I understand, but and then the offense, it's like we have a bunch of guys got injured this year. I mean, the offensive line still needs a lot of work. We got lucky with it once Thomas was back. They actually stayed healthy. Such a shame. Can't have two things at once. But injuries happen, and if you're a team that's built to collapse when injuries occur, you're a poorly built team. And this is why we need to get rid of Joe Shane. Whatever we get, like if we get the first overall pick, I'll be happy. But if we keep him to be the one to use it, I'm going to lose my mind. He is the reason we are here, but he is also the reason that we have the talent that I was just explaining. But I feel he's not hiring the correct coaches and adding enough depth around the stars to be a good GM. You have to do all of those things well to be a good GM, like Howie
Mhm.
Roseman. Sure, he might have a Kevin Patullo here and there, but you know what? He brought in Vic Fangio, and Jonathan Gannon got a head coaching job after his stint with the Eagles, and
Shane Steichen,
Shane
Kellen Moore,
Steichen,
dude. That you know how far many teams Kellen Moore had to go to be an offensive
you know,
coordinator? The
and you,
Chargers, the Cavs, like
yeah, and
all
you know
these
what
teams.
else you have to do? You have to build an attractive team for the coach to want to go to. You got to do all these things right, which Howie does. It's not just like Howie gave him a good like pat on the back and was like, "Oh, what's up, buddy?" and buttered him up. But no, it's not just like the finesse and like the ability he has to speak and convince people of his plans and have the confidence. Is no, they're like, "Yeah, I want to go coach for the Eagles." The last guy that went there became a head coach. It's because they got a great team, and I still got to do my job, but it's a very very manageable job, and I'm the right guy for the task. You don't go to the Giants thinking this is a great situation, but I think this year is the only year really where you can say, okay, well, looks like the quarterback has potential. We have a young nucleus of weapons on offense. They just got hurt, and by nucleus, I just mean, hey, you got a mid tight end prospect who's panning out, a pretty good running back prospect, and a great wide receiver. Like that's like okay, we got some pieces. It's just most of them are injured, and Theo can't catch the ball consistently. He makes a lot of big plays. He really does. He's got a ton of talent, but dude's he's gotta hit the jugs machine. And on defense, I've been over this. Very porous with the mistakes too, and just that prevent defense, man. I do not ever want to see my defense do that ever again.
That prevent
Let
defense is
alone like 3 times over the course of like 4 weeks, dude. Like I hit like a psychosis this year as a Giants fan. I really did. Like it was just so surreal. I thought I died and I was dreaming and this was a nightmare. Like in a way it felt like that. Like, I had a near death experience before and I had that feeling, and it followed me around for about 2 weeks. This one was weird. This experience, this is like, oh, the Giants. Oh, they look really, really good. Oh, the young quarterback. Oh, it's finally all working. The injuries hit, and you're like, oh, season's over. And I did believe that, but I didn't think it would look like this. I did not think it would look like this. This is horrific. I mean,
Mhm.
the way we would lose these games would let you know, first of all, we are not as bad as the record says we are. We should have won like 6 more games this year than we did. But, the fact is you are who your record says you are. We did lose those games. But the way we lost them, just in the most winnable way, how do you lose the most winnable game? How do you do that? Like 7 times. I don't even know how many it is anymore.
Mhm.
Uh, because now it's just bad. Now it's just bad. The players don't care. So, yeah, it's there was my surprise vent session about the Giants, but we were talking about the toilet bowl. So, who better? I was live last year for it. It's around Christmas this time, so I can't do that. But I am here telling you now my thoughts about it. So yeah, Dan, it's late. We got him in. We did it, Dan. We did it.
We got it.
We got it. we got it in late for you guys for Christmas Eve. I'll work on getting these videos clipped up. It is late, and I'm not even gonna worry about timestamps for tonight. That's my little treat. I always do the timestamps for you guys. Please
Mhm.
appreciate the times. Please use them. Even if you don't leave a like, please just use the timestamps, man. Because I put
Mhm.
time into those timestamps, and so does Dan. But sometimes Dan forgets, and I have to
I
watch through
do.
the video. But yeah, guys, the regular season's almost over. I'm so ready for the playoffs. I know you guys are too. And I guess before we sign off, yeah, we don't got any chat comments, so guys, please, if you are watching this right now, drop a thumbs up for Christmas. Who doesn't love Christmas? And make sure to subscribe to follow us for the rest of the regular season and the playoffs and any off-season content and potentially more. And yeah, that's gonna be all from me. Dan, you want to take it away?
Guys, appreciate you guys for showing up. Appreciate you guys for showing out. Guys, it's late as shit and I am beat as hell. But guys, we're gonna keep doing this ish because we love it. We love y'all. We're gonna keep it rocking. We're gonna keep it rolling, guys. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.